everybody, I'm the Bigglesworth, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Along with Piggy. Now I am over here by the sawmill. Just thought I'd drive around and load a few more logs into the sawmill to make some more wood. Yeah, it has been a while since I've been over here. Now I know that we ran past here last episode, or was it episode before? I can't remember. But we had come over here for a second to check out the tree farm, just so we could get some wood for a project we were working on. I think it was last episode, because I needed to get acacia wood. That's what it was. Okay. Oh, I'm doing so much here, the little brain's going crazy. I can't think straight. But I love how this area turned out. Now, there's still so much more that can be done to this area, and it will. Oh, it will, I promise. There are plans and ideas stacked up to the sky. Now, I know the sky only goes to 256 blocks, but that's not my way of saying I have finite ideas. I'm not saying I have infinite either. And I don't even know why I'm running over here. I just said tree farm, and I kind of went over this way. And that was a weird noise. Oh, that's the mine cart. That's right. There's a mine cart underneath there collecting stuff. And wow, that is a lot of birch trees. I don't remember planting that many birch trees, but I guess I did. So I figured I would start out over here because I wanted to explain to you what we were going to be doing. And I figured it would make more sense if I was over here showing you. So over in this area, I've got the train, I've got the crane, I've got the farm, and in this spot right in here, we're going to do a little bit more building eventually on the theme of a tree farm. But I had remembered something. In this tree farm design, I've got a gate coming out this side as well, and I always did that because I knew someday I would either have a road or I would have something out here that needed to be built, and I just wanted to leave that gate. Plus, it's symmetrical. And you know how we are when we build Minecraft stuff. The more symmetrical, the better. But this has actually worked to my advantage because what I need to start doing is I need to start building a villager-operated automatic farm for... I can't remember which foods they'll automatically farm. I'm going to have to do some tests. I'm going to use a build by a YouTuber named Unarybit. And on their video, they say there's two different things they'll farm. But I think they farm more. I'm not sure. So we're just going to experiment with that. But the problem is, the way this thing works, the mechanics and how it uses villagers is the same mechanic that the iron farm and the villager breeder uses. It uses the mechanic of area or zones of what the game would see as a village. So I figured I don't necessarily need this thing running 24/7 in the background like the iron farm. And I needed to be, I think it was to be safe, 100 blocks away from a village. I got to looking over in that area, and that area I've got a lot of plans and designs for things I want to do. And the other problem is, you can't really use doors in an area that's going to be considered a village if you're trying to control it, like the iron farm or this underground farm. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get to working the beginnings of digging a giant hole right in here. Might even go so far as to put it underground over here under the water, just to keep it kind of far away from over there, because the further I can keep it from that area, the more likely I'll be able to use doors and things and build a town or a village or something over there. So, and here's my plan. I want to build this underground so that we don't have to look at it. Because if I built it above ground, it would actually have the look of like an industrial office building. It has a very interesting shape to it. And it wouldn't fit the theme of this area. But what I want to do above ground, and I'll probably fill this spot in, I don't know. I'm still kind of working out the details how I want to do this. But what I wanted it to look like was a little farmer's market. You come in and there's booths. How would you say that? B-O-O-T-H-S. Booths. It's almost like difficult to say. But I'm going to have the farm way underground, and it's going to produce stuff, and it's going to use elevators to push the items up here to the surface. And I would have an area that looked like a farmer's market. You could come over and there would be places to buy produce and just all the different foods that there are. And I thought, you know what? That idea of plants and organic stuff, it fits really well with the theme that's over here with the tree farm. It could also kind of fit well with food is grown over in this area and plants and stuff, and maybe it gets loaded somewhere on the train as well. But I haven't thought that far ahead. I'm just thinking like builds in a like area. So that's what we're going to be working on for most of today, is kind of organizing and getting this area started and getting the farm, the underground farm built. But first things first, I was off camera testing out the builds that I had done over there at the villager, I guess you would call it a villager farm. The area where we make villagers and then we check their trades and then we flush them out. If we don't need them, or we keep them to move them about. All that build. That build is a total bust. Now, it's a little frustrating. I had built all this stuff off screen in a creative world, and it worked. It worked beautifully. But here's the problem. Okay, you know what? This is going to be a whole lot easier to explain it to you if I'm looking at it. So I'm going to run over there actually, not right here, because right here is still a mess. This whole area is eventually going to get leveled and redone, I promise. It's all in the works. We just got to work our way towards it. In this little villager project, man, this thing has taken way more episodes than I ever imagined it would. Oh, face palm and face desk. And that was weird. There must be a cave under there somewhere. And I'm going the wrong way. I can't get down there from there. I've got to take portals and stuff to get there. Okay, we're getting totally distracted and wasting time. So I am going to run over there and meet you over there and explain to you what's going on. All right. So I've come over here to the villager area, and this is a familiar sight. We've been seeing this a lot. This is the area where I get villagers and separate them. And look, I put signs down, so I will know to push the button if I'm ready to get rid of them. And I get to say cool things when I push the button, like, oh, we're not going to push it, but tell him what he's won, Johnny, and then hit the button and oh, man. So this guy, this little fellow right here, I want to call him to come over here so I can check his trade. And last time I did it, when I made it pop the minecart up there, it's like it didn't want to work. It got stuck. And so I went off camera and I tested a few things, and what I figured out is, especially, let's say there's like 10 villagers in that tank. If the minecart pops out and it grabs a villager, it's going to get stuck behind the other villagers. It won't come out. So what I'm going to have to do is design a system that's going to let me send a minecart forward, pick up a villager. It'll send it back over here. And then when I don't like it, I can send it off to, either be sent off for work or sent off over here for trading. So I'm going to have to work that out, and then hopefully in the next episode or two, we'll go ahead and get that fixed. I'll just show you a quick fix so when I get that worked out. But that's one little thing going on. And then the other thing is, when I flush these guys out, I'm going to go ahead and leave them there for now because I'm not ready to move them. But we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you what's going on. I'm going to pretend like I'm a villager, okay? And this is going to take a second to get the speed up and going. There we go. What had happened was, in a creative world, I built this build, and it worked beautifully. Every time I tried it, the villager would get knocked out of the minecart. They would get pushed down into the water stream, and they would go on about their business. I would be able to collect and push them around. But when I built this and tested it, it didn't work. The villager would not jump out of the minecart. Now, hopefully this is going to work. Usually what happens is when I hit record, the exact opposite of what I say is going to happen happens. But what should happen is I'm going to stay in the minecart. Nope, look at that. Okay, sure enough, it popped me out. But for some reason, when I push villagers through here, they don't do this. They stay in the minecart and they end up on the other side of this block. So another little fix that I had to come up with is I've got it where we're going to put a solid block right here, just like this. And I'm going to use signs and water streams. And so what's going to happen is I'm using water streams and signs. Signs are going to keep the water streams above the track because water would actually wash these tracks out. This is still going to work where the villager's going to come by, but the game's going to see a solid block, so it's boop, going to kick them out. They're going to have their head in water, so they're going to want to swim up, and when they do, that water stream's going to catch them and push them forward, and then they will end up in the employment office up there. So that's two little things that are going on. So some of you who have a keen eye might have caught those mistakes in the last episode, and you're going, Piggy, 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 no, it's not going to work, buddy. Or you tried to copy what I did off camera, and you're getting all frustrated because it's not working. Well, guess what? Little face-to-face here. You are not alone. Piggy tried it, and it didn't work for him either. So, and I like to do this. I like to show you guys when things don't work, because it helps you know that, I make mistakes too. Things don't always work out the way that I would like them to. But it's all right. We're going to rise above. We're going to conquer. We're going to overcome. We're going to figure out a solution. We're going to make it work. So, and here's another thing. So here in the Nether Hub, once we get the tree farm area kind of up and going, I figured out I'm going to need to put a portal in here too. So we'll get that worked out as well. But I'm going to go ahead and gather up some tools. Like I said, I need to double check with this tutorial just to make sure that we're building this right. And I'm going to start digging a big hole in the ground. Lots of off-camera fun. So I'm going to get that arranged and get that going. And then I'm going to bring you back and try to explain to you what it is that we're going to be doing with this farm. Now that is what I'm talking about. That is a lot of potatoes. Whoop, and there's some more. Nice. Now I'm going to tell you what. I've had this setup going. Man, look at them go. More and more. We're going to be rolling in potatoes before you know it. So I'm going to bring you up here and show you what is going on, because this farm is crazy. So crazy I can't jump up on it. So right in here we've got carrots growing, and I've yet to get the villagers set up. I got my little track system set up because I figured this out. I should have built it from the bottom up. It would have been easier to get villagers in. But unfortunately we didn't go that route, so I've got to make up this little railway system just to get a guy over here. And we're going to do one of them on camera just so you can see what I'm talking about. But I've got this whole area set up. I got these little water spots. I'm going to have to come back. What? Oh, that's the guy above me. Okay, we'll get to him in just a second. But I'm thinking about lily pads or maybe some wool, unary bits tutorial. The download world, it was wool they used, so we may go that route. And that's just to keep the villager from falling down in the water. We're going to hop up here. And like I said, this thing is a huge structure that I'm building underground. Now check it out. See him? Uh-oh, Mr. You. Oh, maybe that's a poison potato. Sweet. So he's not going to pick up the poison potato, so I don't have to filter those out later. That's cool. So he goes through and he picks potatoes for this level. And see how he's looking over there? There is a villager up in there, just like we're going to put one down there. Now that villager right up in there has an empty inventory, holding no food or anything. So this guy just walks around and he picks potatoes and he plants. And you know how usually when you pick a crop, you get more than one? So he's collecting them in his inventory. Let me make sure nobody's sneaking up on me. Because right now I have mob griefing turned on, and if a creeper came down here, kablow, it would just blow everything to smithereens. So when his inventory fills up, he runs over and he throws food at the villager, but the villager can't catch it, so it falls down and it gets collected down in that chest. And like I said, it is absolutely ridiculous how much we have collected in just a little bit of time. I have a feeling I'm going to have carrots and potatoes coming out my ears. So we're going to come up here, because I figured I would go ahead and set up the villager for the carrots on camera, just so you could see what I was up to. I'm going to break this open. I've got this guy has been patiently waiting. See if we can push him out. There you go. Get on down there, buddy. You know you got work to do. Actually, he's not going to do any work. He's just going to sit and wait. Did it work? Did you get pushed where I hope you would? I think so. We'll push it back some more. A little bit more. I hope that works. And then we're just going to go ahead and... Oh, I don't want that. I want you over on the wool. Huh. So I'm probably going to have to set up a piston mechanism right here and flip a switch and boop, push him forward. So we're going to do that, and I'll do that later off camera. I'm going to get me a piston, and I'm going to power it, and it's going to push him forward onto the carpet. Do that so we don't mess up the soil. Onto that carpet right there, and then I'm going to block off the front, just like the level above. And then we're not going to have any carrots getting picked, and I'm going to show you why. Although I'm sure you can figure out why. Let's go ahead and block this off so no crazy zombies get up in here and start killing our villagers. And I do have a minecart. Awesome. So hopefully this track is still intact and we can start riding back. So we'll ride this and I'll talk to you. So I have got to... I'm going to have to harvest some more wheat over here. Oh, Mr. Pig, you're on the track. No! No! That was close. Uh-oh. And that was the end of the line. Because I ran out of rails, so I had to scavenge a few and use them for over there. So we'll just run this way and I'll explain to you. But basically, I have figured out how to get the villager ejector that was down underground. I've got that finally working. Now, my problem is, we've run out of villagers. So I'm going to have to collect up a whole bunch of wheat and go back up in the bird and breed some more. Because the only villagers that are going to pick the crops, they're brown-robed villagers. And there's only a couple of different types. Hop down here. So what I've got to do is I've got to keep breeding villagers until I get one that wears a brown robe and hopefully doesn't have really good trades. That's the other thing. If the villager has really awesome trades, then I don't want to let the villager go. I want to keep the villager. So it's going to be a little bit of a process, but we do have potatoes going. So that is awesome. We'll get our potatoes collected, and maybe we can set up a system that will cook some of them. And that way we can have food, and then we'll have potatoes ready to go so we can do more trading and just other stuff in the future. I'm going to hop over here. We're going to go in the bird and hop down, and I'm going to show you. We're going to ride the rails. Ride the rails and show you as if we were a villager how this system works. And you guys, you need to make more villagers for me. I am so close to getting this iron farm working, I can taste it. Right there. Whoop! I love that. That is so much fun. Just going to hop over here, take a little ride in a minecart. While I'm riding over here, before I show this to you, I'm going to go ahead and say my little spiel. So today's project, what I want you to do is I want you to get a farm built so that you can start collecting food to go ahead and have a food supply for yourself and also a food supply so we can start breeding more villagers and get that iron farm up and running. You can build any farm you want. You can use the link up above for a Unary bit and go check that one out, or maybe even come up with your own. And what I want you to do is take pictures of that and send that to me on Twitter, and I will tweet it out. I'll tweet it out so all can see, so we can all share. Don't worry about if you're doing it in creative or you're doing it. Oh, here we go. Watch this. Boop. Check that out. That is a foolproof. Yeah. So foolproof, the foolish piggy can't say it. But yeah, don't worry about if you're playing on Pocket Edition or console or anything like that. Just send me the pictures. Just want to see your builds. That's all it is. And look, we've got the system set up so that the cactus breaks the minecart, and we'll eventually get us a little collection system here, and maybe even a return system that will take the ones that get collected here back over there. So real quick, what I've done is I have got a, can't remember what that's called, that sensor track. Those are always on. And when you drive over this, it sets off a pulse on these pistons that push you into the water. I went ahead and put two activator tracks just in case you came by a little too fast, because that's what was happening. The villagers were coming through here so quick that the minecart would wiggle, but they wouldn't get kicked into the water. So I made it too wide, and then I went ahead and made it where the pistons pushed them into the water. So that system is good to go. We got it finally working. And I need to get my minecart because I have got to go back to the surface We gotta go back to the surface and get more wheat so that we can get more villagers, so that we can get more food, to get more villagers, to make the iron farm, to get the iron, all kinds of stuff after the iron. So, and I think in the next episode, I'm going to try and do some kind of a build, because we have spent a lot of episodes doing all this tedious stuff. I want to build something, darn it. So, I'm going to come up with an idea for that. I want you to build your food farm and tweet me pictures, and I will see you in the next episode.